Pike in Farmington, Zen's Antiques and Home Decor.
Chris Parker Jr., what's happening at Autoland for September?
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and Autoland wants to focus on the Hyundai Hope on Wheels program, which has donated over $275 million to pediatric cancer research with every new Hyundai purchase since 1998. Hyundai is committed to pediatric cancer research, not just in September, but every day, all year long.
September is also the beginning of fall.
It's the beginning of the 2026 Model Year 2, with falling prices, great deals, and a super selection of 2025 Hyundai. Interest rates remain high at other banks, but you can take advantage of 0% interest for 48 months on the 25 Santa Fe, or 1.99% financing for 60 months on 25 Tucsons and Sonatas, or lease a 25 Hyundai Elantra SE for only $229 per month.
And every new Hyundai comes with 3-year free complimentary maintenance and Hyundai Owner Assurance, America's best warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Autoland Hyundai, 25 East Fayette Street, Uniontown, or visit their website, AutolandHyundai.com.
And remember, you always pay less to drive the best at Autoland Hyundai.
Voted the best in Fayette County for tires, Tireman's Auto Garage has the cheapest prices in town on both new and used tires. The folks at Tireman's are also top automotive specialists. They can work on any car, can do any repair. They offer diagnostic service, alignments, oil changes, state inspections, batteries, brakes, rotors, detailing, and a whole lot more. Well, school is starting soon. That means buses will be on the road, and before you know it, cold weather and the snow. Be ready and be safe with new tires from Tireman's Auto Garage, where you'll find the lowest prices in town, with ACIMA and SNAP leasing available. If you've driven past Tireman's Auto Garage recently, you've probably seen the golf carts. Tireman's has a variety of 2, 4, and 6-seater gas or electric golf carts available for purchase, with financing available. Interested in renting a golf cart? Well, just call and ask. Tireman's Auto Garage on Mill Street in Uniontown. Call 724-425-9606.
It's the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That is Nick Barczyk. A beautiful day out there. The forecast, much warmer than it was just a few days ago for the next several days. So we're getting that late summer spurt of good weather. Not too warm, so it's okay by me. Obviously, you heard the news at the top of the hour there that conservative commentator and activist Charlie Kirk has been shot and killed now. Absolutely dreadful. I don't care if it's right or left. This sort of asinine political violence is just beyond understanding. I don't get it. Whether you agreed with the guy or not, he has a young family, 2 young children, and they've, I guess at this point yet to catch the shooter. They did take someone into custody, and his picture's out there. And I should caution: apparently that's not the shooter, and it's just awful. First, for this to happen, and now somebody else has been accused of it. He doesn't deserve that attention. Again, this is actually from the New York Times. A close ally of President Trump and one of the most influential young right-wing figures in the United States, Kirk, was shot in the neck while speaking in front of a large crowd on a university campus. He was just 31 years old. I don't get it, Nick. I don't care if it's right-wing or left-wing or conservative, liberal. I don't understand that sort of violence. It makes absolutely no sense to me at all.
Yeah, well, we've reached a point in this country where it's almost expected, as sad as that is, and, feel horrible for his family, and rest in peace, sir. But, yeah, certainly a lot of people didn't agree with what he said, but we have to get to a place in this country where we can disagree agreeably and not, shoot each other. That's not, and I'm sure the person who did this, thought he was doing a noble thing, and no.
Yeah, and thinks he's a hero.
Yeah. For the liberal cause, and now he just makes the liberal cause look worse. I'm guessing this person disagreed with Mr. Kirk. That would make sense.
Yeah, I would think that would have to be it.
But yeah, it's just horrific, and we have to. This stuff has to stop in this country. Yeah, it's horrible.
I don't get it. And of course, this just literally happened within the last hour, I guess. And there's a video of it. Apparently, I've not seen it. I've been told it's absolutely gruesome.
Sure.
I would not search for it, folks. I have not seen it. I don't plan to look at it. There's no sense doing that sort of thing. But obviously, I guess he was speaking outdoors.
Yes.
And we'll get an update on that at 5:31, no doubt, from CBS at the news brief. So, you hate to start a show with something. You hate to have to report something on a show like that. But, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Speaking of sad moments, of course, tomorrow is the 24th anniversary of 9/11. There's a special show tomorrow at the 2 o'clock hour that TJ DeStefano and Josh will be doing here at WMBS. So you're free to call in and give your memories where you were that day. I'll be doing the same. I'll be talking about that now in the next few minutes. But feel free to call in tomorrow for that special show with TJ and Josh talking about 9/11. Nick, you're too young actually to remember it, I suppose. How old were you on 9/11?
Kindergarten, 5 years old.
were you 5
I
years
remember
old?
it very faintly, but you certainly have much more vivid memories.
Yeah, my daughter was the same age, and I was, and I've told these stories before, but it's obviously worth repeating. We can't forget a day like that. I was working for United States Senator Arlen Specter. Our office was on the 20th floor of the Federal Building in downtown Pittsburgh. And as we were getting this information, of course, about the Twin Towers and the Pentagon, as we looked out our window from the 20th floor, we looked west from downtown Pittsburgh, which was right in the flight line of Pittsburgh International Airport. And in those days, of course, U.S. Airways had hundreds upon hundreds. So it was just nonstop. You didn't even think about it. It was just endless planes landing. And we could see them heading west, and then they would disappear over the horizon. And I remember Bill, one of my coworkers, said, "Doug, do you keep looking out the window at those planes going by?" I said, "Yeah, I sure do." And then they shut down. I sent the staff home. I was director of the office. And then they shut down the Federal Building in Pittsburgh. I reported across the street, Grant Street, if you're familiar with that. It's the old post office building. Now it's always been the post office and courthouse, federal courthouse. And I reported over there. The FBI's headquarters at the time was located there, and we were getting briefing on what's going on. And, of course, you heard every imaginable rumor. At one point, they said there were 2 planes that had been that were missing from Arnold Palmer Airport. That wasn't true. And I'm sure that was very similar around the country. So we're sitting there getting briefings. At this point, they were talking nationally. Some folks might recall this. They've talked about maybe evacuating major cities. I don't quite know how you do that. And I frankly wasn't all that concerned, but I was in touch with my wife at that point, we had 2 children. And all of a sudden, a fella came into the room. I think he's now since passed away, an FBI agent who has seen everything, to use an old term, the old grizzled FBI agent. And his voice was cracking, and he said, "We have it confirmed. A plane has crashed in Somerset." And at that point, the room just went silent. You think if there's going to be a terrorist target, New York City, the Pentagon, Washington, D.C., but Somerset County would not, where you would think would be a terrorist target. And, of course, no one knew at the time that the passengers actually were attempting to take that plane back, and then the terrorists purposely crashed it so they would not give up the plane and then, of course, be caught. But at that point, I left the meeting and I went home. I live in the South Hills of Allegheny County, and just to say hi to the family. I can remember, this might sound a little corny, but my daughter was working on riding a 2-wheeler, and when I got there, she had fallen and was crying. And I all can think of, I wish this was the biggest issue in the world right now. But we kept our daughter pretty away from the coverage. We didn't have the TV on. We weren't watching that sort of thing all the time. We didn't want her. Obviously, she was going to know about it. You're on the school bus. An older kid might say something. But we gave her just very brief information so she would understand what was going on. But that's when I drove out to Somerset to the crash site at Shanksville. The plane was still smoldering at the time, and I was getting information from the folks on scene there. I was just amazed, and I said this earlier today when I was hosting What's on Your Mind, the cooperation. I mean, we have people who had never met each other who suddenly were working together so perfectly. You're talking about local police, state police, the coroner in Somerset County, the FBI coming in, of course, the Department of Environmental Protection at the state level, emergency management at the state level, federal level, local level, all coming together. And then the very next day, in fact, I was there so late that night, I just slept in my car. the next morning, my boss at the time and his colleague, U.S. Senators Arlen Specter and Rick Santorum, flew in a very, very large Army helicopter. And as you can imagine, that they had a biohazard site set up at that point. And communication back then just wasn't the way it is right now. And there was no way I could call that plane. The cell phone coverage was very bad out there. The cell towers being overwhelmed, frankly. And so we had to get their helicopter landed in that site. And joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, a fellow we've had on the show quite a few times over the years, and we appreciate him taking a few minutes to talk to us, Keith Schmidt. Keith, thanks for joining us.
No, it's Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Elizabeth Shope.
My apologies. Our guest calling in early. We'll be talking to her in a few moments, Keith. I'm sorry. So let's put that on hold if we could, Keith. And we'll get to Elizabeth. She's with the National Park Service. That interview is actually scheduled for 5:35. So I apologize to Elizabeth. I thought that was Keith calling in, as we were expecting. His call. But back to the story. That helicopter landed in the biohazard zone, and I had no way to contact. I wasn't going to run over to the helicopter naturally. But there was another state police helicopter there, and I talked to the pilot, and I said, "Do you have a radio in that helicopter that can call this helicopter?" And they actually did. They were able to make that connection, so they took off and flew about 100 yards and back down. And the first thing Senator Specter said to me was, "Where's the plane? We want to see the plane." And Arlen Specter, when he wanted something, he wanted it. So I'm telling him, "Senator, there is no plane. It's disintegrated." And he said, "No, where are they taking the parts?" I said, "Well, Senator, they're digging them out right now out of the ground." And finally, Rick Santorum, his colleague, got to him and said, "Arlen, there's no plane." And then Specter wanted to know where they were taking the deceased. And I said, "Senator, they've incinerated. It was a dreadful situation. They only recovered about 12% of the remains." But even a U.S. Senator at that point could not simply understand what was happening. I'll continue with the story in a minute. We're going to take a 1-minute break now. We're going to take a commercial, and then we'll come back. It's the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
Concerned about your heart health? At WVU Medicine, we believe your heart deserves world-class care, close to home and always within reach. Our non-invasive cardiology team uses advanced tests like stress tests and cardiac MRI to diagnose and monitor heart conditions without surgery. Call 877-WVU, the number 4HRT, or visit wvumedicine.org/heart.
This is attorney Michael Mays of the Davis & Davis Law Firm. We have been helping injured people just like you recover millions of dollars for over 45 years. If you're hurt or injured, I want to meet you and make sure you get the money that you deserve. Call me at 724-437-2799 for your free consultation. The Davis & Davis Law Firm has been protecting our neighbors in Greene and Fayette counties for over 45 years. Go to davisanddavislaw.com or call 724-437-2799 for your free consultation.
To me. Welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show on a sad day for a number of reasons. Of course, tomorrow is the 24th anniversary of 9/11, and you heard the news of Charlie Kirk being shot and killed while speaking at a college in Utah. Don't understand that sort of behavior at all. But back to my experiences on 9/11, as I mentioned, I was at the crash site within hours of that plane hitting the ground in Shanksville. Having worked for Senator Arlen Specter, I went up there to get that information and send it back to D.C. But the next day when Senator Specter and Santorum came in, Specter immediately wanted to see the remains, or not to see them, but where's the plane being taken, where are the remains going? And I had trouble explaining to him that there weren't any. They were basically incinerated on site. And of course, we were at that location for quite some time, family members showing up. And you can imagine the anxiety, the anger. They were upset about a bulldozer being at the site, and we tried to explain to them that this plane literally went 30 feet into the ground at that site, and the bulldozer was required simply to get the plane parts out and recover the black box. And sadly, that angst continues, and we did our very best. As the local coroner at the time from Somerset County was absolutely extraordinary. He was also if I recall this correctly, a funeral home director. And he said in interviews he relied as much on that experience dealing with grieving people as he did, of course, his official duties as coroner of Somerset County. Hard to believe now, 24 years ago today. We're going to talk here in just a few moments. We're going to take a news break coming up, a 1-minute news break from New York, a couple of commercials, and then we'll be back. And we're going to check in with a representative of the National Park Service, frankly, the perfect person to talk to about what's happening tomorrow at the Flight 93 National Memorial. And we're going to check in with her to talk about that. And also, I think the importance of visiting the site. National Park Ranger Elizabeth Shope will join us. She is with Allegheny Portage Railroad National Historic Site and the Johnstown Flood National Memorial, and she's serving as the Public Information Officer for the Flight 93 National Memorial Observance tomorrow. So we'll be talking to her in just a few moments. Of course, that site naturally is open year-round. Obviously, a lot of people go to it on the anniversary date, and I've gone to many, many of those over the years, both in an official capacity when I was working either for the U.S. Senate or the State Senate or the U.S. House or the State House, the Quad, as I always call it. I've worked for all four. But we're going to get more information coming up here in just a few moments. But first, we're going to head to CBS News for an update, and then we'll be back after the break on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. Stick around.
CBS News special report. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot during an appearance at a college in Utah. CBS's Robert Costa.
It's hard to quantify and characterize the amount of anger, frustration, pain that is being felt in so many corners of American politics right now, especially those who knew Charlie Kirk.
Authorities do not have a suspect in custody, and campus police at Utah Valley University were going building to building to evacuate people. CBS's Ed O'Keefe on Kirk's influence.
Founded this group, Turning Point USA, back in 2012, inspired by the Tea Party movement. And he very quickly became a really influential conservative leader, especially among younger conservatives, galvanizing them to vote for various Republican candidates, and became very close with the Trump family.
President Trump has ordered flags lowered to half staff. CBS News special report. I'm Cammie McCormick.
Oak Pizza in downtown Uniontown is your one-stop shop for the most unique pizzas in the region. From the masterminds behind the Fat Angelo's franchise, Oak Pizza is the laboratory where the Fat Angelo's food scientists test their creations and let you be the judge. With traditional favorites like pepperoni and buffalo chicken pizzas to more experimental offerings like the sesame seed-infused Mad Pie or the spicy chicken pickle pizza, Oak has you covered. Order today at oakpizzas.com or by calling 724-439-5805. Your taste buds will thank you.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Sleep well tonight. Try out a new mattress from Route 21 Furniture with a large selection of mattresses, all sizes and comfort levels, with great prices, free local delivery and setup, and financing options. Route 21 Furniture. Open weekdays 9 to 5, Saturday 10 to 5, Sunday noon to 4. 724-737-2222 or Route21Furniture.com.
Route 21 Furniture, take the road to your perfect home.
Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Bad hair day? Bad day at the office? Bad day behind the wheel? Hey, stuff happens, even to the best of us. At least your car insurance rate doesn't have to take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Your local station, WMBS.
Welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. Beautiful day out there today. 70, what are we looking at? 73 degrees right now outside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studios. Joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, Park Ranger, Public Information Officer with the National Park Service, Elizabeth Shope. Elizabeth, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate your taking the time. Tomorrow, of course, at the 24th anniversary of 9/11. Hard to believe a quarter century has now passed since that dreadful day. I just mentioned a moment ago what a beautiful day it is here, and that's exactly the type of day it was 24 years ago as well, wasn't it? That's how it started out. Oh, do we have
Good evening, Doug, and thank you for having me on this evening. Yes, it was a beautiful September day that morning, and that's what a lot of people remember about that day and recall was the beautiful day and the sunny blue skies.
And not only in Shanksville, but also, of course, at the Pentagon and in Lower Manhattan in New York, where the Twin Towers came down. And, of course, what was absolutely, and I mentioned this earlier, I'm not sure, I know you were on hold for a bit, and we appreciate that, but when we learned here, I was at the FBI office when we got the word. I was working for the U.S. Senate then, and we got the word that a plane had crashed in Somerset County and that it was confirmed. Of course, there were lots of rumors that day that planes were missing from the Arnold Palmer Regional Airport and you name it. But when the FBI confirmed that a plane had crashed, it gave pause to think, my gosh, there's one thing to have a terrorist target in New York City or the Pentagon, Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, but Somerset. And that's what I think sent so many people into an absolute, I don't know how to describe it, and because you wouldn't think Somerset County would be a terrorist target. But it has gone from being a terrorist target, and now we've learned, of course, the courage of those passengers on the flight. And I know that's how the National Park describes it, the 5 parks here in western Pennsylvania. And courage is the word that the Park Service uses to describe what those passengers did that day, correct?
Absolutely. And Flight 93, the Rangers here and volunteers also refer to them as the heroes. Yeah, so the heroes of Flight 93. And you're right, I grew up not too far from your station, actually, and I remember, thinking the same thing, how, as a child, how scary that was when something happened so close to home. But yeah, you're right. So Flight 93 is part of the National Parks of Western Pennsylvania. So we have 5 national parks right here in southwestern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the national parks. I've been one of those people who have visited all 5 in one day. I know at one point, maybe you still have that brochure about the possibility to get to all 5 in one day. And I did that at one point with my daughters. And okay. But you talked about the heroes that were on Flight 93. And at the time, President George W. Bush, who was only in office at that point 9 months, said that these were the first warriors in the war on terror. And they truly were. That they had gotten through cell phone calls. They heard what had happened in other parts of the country. And they realized, yes, that they were risking their own lives, but they realized the importance of trying to take that airplane back. And by all accounts, they were very close to doing that when the terrorists, the cowards they were, decided just to simply crash the plane where they happened to be. And just by fluke, it landed in an empty field in Somerset. Frankly, that could have crashed anywhere, huh?
It certainly could have. And, how the passengers and crew members came together on board Flight 93 and took a vote and decided to take action is, like you mentioned, very courageous.
Yeah, we hear the term frequently, "let's roll," which was a term used by one of the passengers frequently. Nobody would what he was doing in life. But when you think about the courage it took, and they had the biggest, strongest guys up front. They had the pilots near the front, so pilots could take back control of the plane as soon as they got to the terrorists. The flight attendants had boiled water so they could throw it at the terrorists. It was a remarkable plan put together literally in seconds, because they knew at that point what was going to happen, because they had gotten word. And by all indications, by all research, and that plane was likely headed to the U.S. Capitol, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. When you think about and the other plane, the plane that hit the Pentagon, there's some indication that perhaps that was headed for the White House, and of course these were not well-trained pilots, the terrorists, so they simply could not find the White House. Yes, it's a big building surrounded by trees. The plane's going 400 miles per hour, so they chose the Pentagon instead. But you think about what those people did on that plane. The thought of the Capitol building being hit by an airplane, perhaps the dome itself collapsing, it would have had an impact even beyond what had already happened that day, the Twin Towers in New York coming down. Again, heroes across the board. Even at the time, the Secretary of Defense, Donald Rumsfeld, there's video of him helping carry a gurney out and removing injured people from that plane until, of course, his Secret Service protection said, no, Mr. Secretary, you shouldn't be out here right now. We got to get you into the Situation Room. And that's where he went from there. Again, as we are talking about the 24th anniversary of 9/11, tomorrow we're going to have a special show at 2 o'clock that's going to be hosted by Josh Kryzik and TJ DeStefano. Folks are welcome to call in with their memories of where they were and their thoughts on 9/11. Talk about the facility there, the memorial. I've always described it when people have asked me about it. I said it's simple and dignified. It's not outlandish. It's not enormous, but it's just simple and to the point, showing respect. But tell us about the Flight 93 National Memorial.
And that's a great way to describe it. So the permanent memorial, when you enter Flight 93 National Memorial off of Route 30, you will first come to the Tower of Voices, which is essentially a giant wind chime. So it's a great place for reflection, and then folks will come to the visitor center. There are exhibits related to that day and Flight 93 specifically. And then folks can visit the Memorial Plaza, and they can walk out to the Wall of Names, and they can see the boulder that marks the impact site. So it's a very solemn experience to visit here.
It really is. I remember being there that day and my memories of it. And then for many, many years, they had the temporary memorial. You would actually enter from a different direction when you came that day. But even back then, they had people who were volunteers who were there to greet people when they came. Frequently, when I was there, I would meet family members who were there, and they were. There were times when they would have choirs come and sing. Just a simple, decent memorial, but at the same time, of course, presidents, vice presidents. I recall being there when a former boss of mine, Tom Ridge, I worked for him when he was in the U.S. House. He came when he was Secretary of Homeland Security. I don't know what you can share tomorrow. Are there VIPs coming tomorrow? If you can't share that information, I certainly understand.
Yeah, so I can share what's happening tomorrow. So we will have a 30-minute moment of remembrance that will begin at 9:45 a.m., and it will be broadcast live on the Flight 93 National Memorial YouTube page, so you can watch that from the comfort of your home. So the moment of remembrance honors the 40 passengers and crew members of Flight 93, and the observance includes the reading of names and a moment of silence. Also part of the 24th observance this year is Teach to Remember, and that is a partnership between Flight 93 National Memorial and the Friends of Flight 93 National Memorial. And with Teach to Remember, the emphasis is on educating future generations about what happened. There are a lot of school children now that weren't alive when this happened. So the importance of remembering and educating so that people don't forget about this day. So there are actually live sessions that will continue through the end of the week that educators can register for through Zoom. So they are live sessions with park rangers here at the memorial, and they cover different topics, and the different topics are broken down for different age groups. So even if folks aren't able to join Teach to Remember live as it's happening, those videos will be posted online, and it's a great way to learn about Flight 93 and a great resource for educators. So it's the 24th observance, but also Teach to Remember. And this is the third year for Teach to Remember. So there are schools registered from across the country for the different live sessions this week.
Yeah. So again, that the event itself tomorrow, you said, is at 9:30. Is that correct?
Yeah, it starts at 9:45.
9:45. Okay. Well, obviously, appropriate time to do that. And what I've always been impressed about is they just didn't hold the site as it was that day, but they're trying to recover it as well, I guess, and bring it back perhaps. And I know hundreds, maybe thousands of trees have been planted. Give us some idea of what, if someone comes tomorrow, where's the event actually being held? Down near the Wall of Remembrance? Is that the Wall of Names? Is that where this event's going to be held at 9:45?
Yeah, so for folks interested in visiting us on site tomorrow, the park will open at 7 a.m. And folks will be directed where to park. There will be shuttles that will bring attendees down to the Memorial Plaza area. So the observance will take place near the Wall of Names.
And
so the public, it's free and open to the public, but there's also the live stream option via YouTube. So folks can visit in person or watch online. The visitor center will also be open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And it gives us the website too, so folks can get onto that. And I assume from there, then of course they can go to the YouTube channel to watch, correct?
Yes. If you visit Flight 93 National Memorial, the National Park Service site, right on the homepage is a September 11th observance window you can click on, and it has all of the event information. It has a link to the live stream to YouTube. So you can actually link right from that page, and it will take you to the YouTube page where you can view the live stream.
So again, I guess I would recommend that folks arrive early tomorrow. It's a walk down to, of course. I guess there's. Is this correct? There's handicap parking down near the site. Is that correct? If people have mobility issues, but otherwise you park up near the visitor center, and then can walk down for this event tomorrow. Is that correct?
So folks will be directed where to park. There will be shuttles. They are accessible shuttles that will take folks down to the Memorial Plaza. So folks will park and then shuttle to and from the event site.
There you go. Perfect. So you have the information there. Check the website too, folks, if you want to go out. And of course, the site is open year-round, naturally, and you can visit, obviously, anytime you want. We're talking with National Park Ranger Elizabeth Shope, who is also the Public Information Officer for the event tomorrow for the Flight 93 National Memorial Observances. And while we have you on the line, of course, we'd like to take a few minutes to talk about the other 4 national parks in western Pennsylvania. And, of course, Friendship Hill National Historic Site, which I actually visited this afternoon. I had some time between my 2 radio shows today.
Oh, wonderful.
And went down and I asked if you were there, and I was told you were not. I'm assuming you were preparing for today's event, or tomorrow's event, of course. But Friendship Hill. So let's go through each of them. We just talked naturally about Flight 93, so let's go in alphabetic order. The Allegheny Portage Railroad National Historic Site out near Johnstown, correct?
Yes, so there's Allegheny Portage Railroad National Historic Site and Johnstown Flood National Memorial, which are my home parks. So they are about a half hour from each other. And then we have Fort Necessity National Battlefield and Friendship Hill National Historic Site. So all 5 parks that are part of the National Parks of Western Pennsylvania, as you mentioned, you did it all I think you mentioned maybe a day or two. So from Allegheny Portage Railroad to Friendship Hill, the two farthest parks, it's about a 2-hour drive. And which I always think is incredible because sometimes you have to drive for hours to get to a park, and right here in our area we have 5. And these parks cover 247 years of history. From the opening battle of the French and Indian War at Fort Necessity to the crash of Flight 93 on September 11th, 2001. So they really cover a wide range. Very unique stories, so you can learn about the history and find inspiration in the parks.
Yeah. We talked earlier about the one word describing Flight 93, National Memorial, courage, Allegheny Portage Railroad, ingenuity, Fort Necessity National Battlefield, leadership, Friendship Hill National Historic Site, perseverance, which is actually part of the family crest for Albert Gallatin, and, of course, disaster, the Johnstown Flood National Memorial. Described that way as well. Another horrible moment in American history. But all these words, I think the day I did them all in one day, I believe I started very early in the morning at Friendship Hill and made my way east. So I did manage to hit all 5 in one day. I'm not suggesting everybody do that. But no, we did it that day. And this one of those family events. I've dragged my kids to every historic site there is in Western Pennsylvania. And it resulted in one getting a degree in history and education. So 1 out of 4, it wasn't all that bad.
That's wonderful. They were inspired.
Apparently, that's right, or exhausted. One of the two. I don't know. At one point, they put a bumper sticker on the back of my car that said, "Caution: this car stops at all historic markers," so you can get a sense of.
I love that.
Well, it was nice, and except for the fact they put it right on the paint. But I never mentioned that to them. It was a nice thing nonetheless. No, it's the sites that we have here are so lucky to have these 5 sites so close. And there's entire sections of the country that don't have such sites, so we're very fortunate to have all of those. And again, your 2 sites are the Allegheny Portage and Johnstown Flood. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, all right.
And all of the national parks of Western Pennsylvania are free of charge. So you can visit the websites for operating hours. But, I'd like to extend an invitation to all of the listeners. We have over 33 miles of trails between the 5 parks. So you can come explore nature. You can attend a ranger program. So there's something to learn at each site within the national parks of Western Pennsylvania, but all of the national parks across the country as well.
And so if you're choosing to go to one now, make sure you check out Friendship Hill, because that closes September 30th, I believe, if I read it correctly when I was down there today. So make sure if you're going to one soon, go to that one so you can see it before it closes for the season as well. I always thought it was fascinating. Fort Necessity, of course, was the first and only military defeat by George Washington. And he had the wherewithal many years later to buy the property. When you think about that, there's times in history where exactly did this happen? Where did that happen? He actually bought the property to preserve it, which is rather amazing. And when you think about the nearby site as well, up on the summit, they know exactly where that 15-minute scuffle happened and literally put the world on fire. It's tremendous that over these years, hundreds of years, we've been able to determine exactly where these sites were. Jumonville Glen, of course, is the one I'm talking about. And pretty cool that they've been able to save these sites.
Yes.
But the fact that George Washington decided to buy the one site and hold it for preservation purposes is genius beyond genius, frankly. A kind of crazy thing when you think about that as well. Again, we appreciate Elizabeth Shope joining us here on the Afternoon Drive Show, talking about tomorrow. So, folks, again, if you want to attend this, the events at Flight 93, obviously get there early, check out the website first, or as you mentioned, Elizabeth, you can simply watch it online, correct?
Absolutely, yes. If you visit the Flight 93 National Memorial National Park Service site, you can find the link under if you click on September 11th observance from the homepage, you can find the link that will take you right to the YouTube page.
Yeah. If I could go back in time, career-wise, I enjoy doing radio and the other things I've done, but I would be a national park ranger without question. I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to one right now, but if I could reverse my career, that's what I would have done when I look back on it. Why didn't I think to do something like that? I would have loved doing that. Maybe someday when I'm retired, I'll start volunteering more. Oh, you never know. We'll see what comes down the line. So, Elizabeth Shope, thanks so much. We appreciate your joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one. We're going to take a
You
break,
too.
folks.
Thank you.
Thank you. We take a break, folks. We come back. We're going to wrap things up for the Afternoon Drive show today. Pirate baseball tonight. We'll talk a little baseball when we come back. But first, this is the Afternoon Drive show on WMBS.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
It's a day that ends in Y, so it's a day that you might decide you don't want to cook. That means it's the perfect day to order Fat Angelo's. Offering delicious pizzas, salads, hoagies, strombolis and calzones, wings, and more. And with 12 locations across the area ready to serve you, today is the day to visit FatAngelosPizza.com, where you can quickly and conveniently find your local shop and place your order online. Or get the local phone number and give them a call. Order up!
Get more for your hard-earned dollars during these final days of the Labor Day sale at Reese Warehouse. You'll find savings throughout the store on famous name appliances and furniture, plus 12 months no interest for qualified buyers. Voted the 2024 Best in Fayette Place for mattresses and appliances. Mention WMBS and get a free bed frame with your mattress purchase. Better hurry, these are the final days at Reese Warehouse, the Superstore in Smithfield. Shop Monday through Friday from 9 until 6, Saturday 9 to 5.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Wow, your dog looks beautiful.
We went to Mutts on Market Street, the new dog grooming salon in downtown Brownsville. Samantha, the owner, has over 10 years dog grooming experience. They work with any dog, any breed, any size.
Didn't it cost a fortune?
No, the prices are great. They offer a full line of grooming and other services.
With warm weather, now's the time to schedule an appointment for your furry friends. Mutts on Market Street, downtown Brownsville, next to Hope Park. For more information, visit Mutts on Market Street on Facebook. Mutts on Market Street will be open during the Market Street repairs.
WMBS.
And that's a wrap for the Afternoon Drive show on a beautiful Wednesday out there. 73 degrees right now outside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law studios. I want to thank Elizabeth Shope for joining us, National Park Ranger Elizabeth Shope, about the event happening tomorrow, the moment of remembrance at 9:45 at the Flight 93 National Memorial. Again, if you have a chance to go out there, if you've never been there, it really is worth going to. And naturally, it's open year-round. You don't have to be there tomorrow. Of course, it'll be a lot more crowded tomorrow, but they will have people directing you where to park. And if you have mobility issues, they said they have shuttles to get you down to the actual site where that event will take place. 9:45, 30 minutes long. Of course, you can also watch it on their YouTube page as well. So make sure you simply Google Flight 93 National Memorial, and you'll find out how to get that information on that one. Baseball, Nick, I was thinking of having a longer show tonight, because I don't know how many people are interested in what Paul Skeens might do on the mound.
No, it's not that interesting.
No. But then someone said, Doug, do it or you're done.
There you go.
I think that's what was said to me.
Management came in and said,
yeah, Doug, maybe you ought to let people listen to Paul Skeens pitch.
Yeah, let's do that.
Pirates, they sweep the world champions Dodgers, and now are on, a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah. What happens?
You lose 3 to Milwaukee, who are the best team in baseball at this point. But we'll see what we can do against the team. Yeah, we lost last night to the Orioles, but, we beat them twice.
Really? How'd you do last night? You said we.
Oh, we, yeah.
How'd you do? Did you play?
The Pirates beat them twice in the World Series when I was a kid.
I'm messing with you. Say what you want.
I know.
But, yeah, they lost in extras last night. We'll see what Skeens can do and take the series if you win tonight and tomorrow afternoon.
If Skeens keeps this up, I'm guessing after today he'll have 2 more starts.
At least.
Yeah. And I think they think the chance of him winning the Cy Young.
He should get the Cy Young. He should. His record may hurt him, but he's the best pitcher in the National League I saw.
But everybody knows the record of the team he's playing for.
Yeah. Don't hold that against him.
Again, you've been listening to the Afternoon Drive Show. Thanks for joining me today for this and the last 3 days on What's on Your Mind. News is next on your local station, WMBS Uniontown.
The